Hello there. On May 31st, Andrew was able to get our squash gardens planted. We ended up with 24 rows. He actually did 4 rows of zucchini last week, so he got the remaining 20 rows tilled today. Clay took the drone up. He used some strip tilling, which it just allows him to till in strips, and then when the plants vine out, it keeps them cleaner. Before they vine out, he's able to just mow down through the grass and keep the weeds down. So there's some advantages. You use less fuel and it helps with soil erosion. Our dogs are not fans of the drone. They don't like the drone. So they're trying to figure out what's staring at them there. Clay took the drone up at the same time we were doing a time-lapse video there. I froze the frame. He got in the way of the camera a couple times, but what was interesting when I watched this time-lapse video is how neat the clouds were that day. I was outside while Andrew was telling this. I just didn't realize until I watched it, and it's neat seeing the shadows come over. He did 2 passes down and back, and this land is actually set fallow for about 7 years, so hopefully it does really well this year. And he's tilling in his strips. Like I said, he did strip tilling. And the first 4 rows he put in on starting from the south side, well, we put in 4 rows of zucchini, and then right north of those, he put in 4 rows of butternut. The jab planter really helps him put them in quickly. He can control, I mentioned in a previous video, he can control how many seeds he uses. He can put in 1 or more. You know, he totally has control of how many he plants per spot. I think in these rows he just did 1, but these plants are going to vine out a lot. Butternut squash do. The next 4 rows north of that were acorn squash. And those, again, he just used the jab planter and planted 4 rows of acorn. And then we put in 4 rows of spaghetti squash after that. These are all a little bit different on date to harvest, but they're pretty similar. I think butternut is the longest, maybe a little over 100. So there's not much you have to do with them. Just make sure they have enough, moisture in the ground. And then he moved to the far north rows, and he put in 2 rows of pie pumpkins. Next to those, he put in a row of white pumpkins. We just save the seed on these. They're fun to see what we end up with every year. Some of them can cross-pollinate, and we just like to have a bunch of fall variety for pumpkins and gourds. He put in a row of jack-o'-lanterns south of the white pumpkins. And then we moved to the next section, and he put in some various fall gourds. We save the seeds. It's fun to see what we end up with. And then so for the last 3 rows, he switched to his earthway planter. His arm gets a little tired after planting that much seed with the jab planter, so this puts it in pretty quickly, and he's able to just walk behind it. Right now here he's doing a row of white squash. Right next to that he planted a row of orange squash, and then the final row were another row of gourds. We should have quite a few fun things in the fall to decorate with and to share with neighbors and friends. And after he's done with these 20 patches that he's planting today, we switched over to the gardens with our tomatoes and pepper plants because we had some extra space in there, and we planted some yellow zucchini in that spot. He had previously tilled this area, but he wanted the soil a little finer, so he went through with another pass with his tiller. And there are the tomatoes and peppers that we put in. Kind of had a rough few days, but we've given them some water, and they seem to be doing pretty well now. Giving them some fertilizer. So we put in some yellow squash in these last 2 half rows, and they can kind of tend to blend with the green zucchini, so it's kind of nice to have them a ways away from it. They can blend their colors in. So after he is done with the yellow zucchini, we're all done with the squash planting for this season. The dogs like to be with us or is outside, but they don't like the direct sunlight, so they find shade anywhere they can get it. Right now they're munching on some grass under our tiller wagon, so it's always nice to have them outside with us. But they can get a little hot, so it's nice they found some shade. So this is how it ended up. We ended up with 24 rows of various winter squash and summer squash and gourds and pumpkins, and it's been a long day, but it's always nice to be done, have a successful day of planting, and hopefully everything germinates well. So thanks for taking the time to listen, and we'll catch you next time.